Imagine a young girl, barely 5 years old, sitting at her kitchen table. She's meticulously arranging her crayons, dividing them into two piles, red on one side, blue on the other. When her mother asks why she's doing this, she replies with unwavering seriousness, because red is red and blue is blue, and they can't be together. This simple act of categorization, seemingly innocent and even endearing, encapsulates a fundamental human tendency, our innate desire to impose order on the world through duality. We divide things into pairs, light and dark, good and evil, hot and cold, seeking clarity and understanding in the constant flux of existence. This binary thinking, however comforting, often blinds us to a more nuanced reality, one where lines blur, categories crumble, and contradictions coexist. This tendency toward dualistic thinking has permeated our philosophical, scientific, and even artistic endeavors for centuries. It's woven into the fabric of Western thought, shaping our perception of ourselves, others, and the universe around us. We see it in ancient Greek philosophy, where opposing forces like reason and emotion, order and chaos, were held as fundamental principles. Building on this foundation, religious and spiritual traditions often reinforce these dichotomies. Concepts like heaven and hell, sin and redemption. Duality becomes a lens through which we understand our place within the cosmos, framing existence as a struggle between opposing forces. However, as science progresses, the rigid lines drawn by dualistic thinking begin to weaken. Quantum physics, for example, shatters the classical notion of objective reality, revealing a universe where particles exist in a superposition of states, defying simple categorization. The very act of observation influences reality itself, blurring the line between observer and observed. This leads us to question: is our ingrained tendency towards duality an accurate reflection of reality? Or is it a limiting framework that obscures deeper truths? Could there be a more holistic understanding of existence, one that embraces paradox and interconnectedness rather than rigid opposition? Consider the human experience itself. We are complex beings, simultaneously capable of great love and immense cruelty, of profound wisdom and childish naivete. Our emotions often defy simple categorization: joy tinged with sadness, anger laced with fear. These contradictions highlight the inherent fluidity and complexity of human nature, challenging our binary approach to understanding ourselves. Furthermore, in a world increasingly interconnected through technology and globalization, the lines between cultures, ideologies, and even individual identities become increasingly blurred. This necessitates a shift away from rigid dualities towards a more nuanced and inclusive worldview that recognizes the multifaceted nature of human experience. Beyond the realm of personal experience and scientific inquiry, the limitations of dualistic thinking are evident in our societal structures and political discourse. Polarization and division often stem from entrenched beliefs and a refusal to engage with opposing viewpoints. This binary, us versus them, mentality hinders constructive dialogue and fuels conflict, leaving little room for compromise or understanding. Embracing a more holistic approach, one that acknowledges the inherent interconnectedness of all things, offers a path towards greater empathy, compassion, and ultimately, progress. It challenges us to move beyond simplistic labels and engage with the world in its full complexity, recognizing the inherent paradox at the heart of existence. This binary, us versus them, mentality hinders constructive dialogue and fuels conflict, leaving little room for compromise or understanding. Embracing a more holistic approach, one that acknowledges the inherent interconnectedness of all things, offers a path towards greater empathy, compassion, and ultimately, progress. It challenges us to move beyond simplistic labels and engage with the world in its full complexity, recognizing the inherent paradox at the heart of existence. Building on this understanding, let's delve into the psychological roots of our tendency towards duality. Why do we cling so tightly to these seemingly black and white categories? What drives us to create these divisions in the first place? One influential theory comes from Sigmund Freud, who posited that our psyche is divided into three parts: the id, ego, and superego. The id operates on primal instincts and desires, seeking immediate gratification. The superego represents internalized societal norms and moral values, often imposing restrictions on the id's impulses. Caught in the middle is the ego, which attempts to mediate between these two forces, striving for balance and rationality. Freud argued that this inherent conflict within the self manifests itself externally as a need to categorize and compartmentalize the world around us. We create binary oppositions: good versus evil, right versus wrong, love versus hate, to simplify complex realities and manage the internal turmoil. This categorization provides a sense of order and control in a seemingly chaotic universe. However, this simplistic view overlooks the inherent ambiguity and fluidity of human experience. As Carl Jung, another pioneer in psychological thought, explored, our personalities are far more complex than simply good versus evil. He introduced the concept of archetypes, universal patterns of behavior and imagery that reside in the collective unconscious. These archetypes encompass a vast spectrum of human emotions, motivations, and experiences, often paradoxical and contradictory in nature. Jung believed that embracing these contradictions, rather than striving for rigid definitions, is crucial for psychological wholeness. He saw the shadow self, the darker aspects of our personality that we tend to repress, as an integral part of who we are. By integrating our shadow selves, acknowledging both our light and dark sides, we can move towards greater self-awareness and acceptance. This integration also extends to our relationships with others. When we view people through a dualistic lens, friend versus enemy, trustworthy versus deceitful, we limit our capacity for empathy and understanding. Jung's concept of individuation emphasizes the journey towards becoming a whole person, recognizing the inherent value in every individual, even those who may seem different or challenging. Furthermore, Jung's work highlights the importance of symbols and dreams in accessing deeper layers of consciousness. He believed that these seemingly irrational experiences offer glimpses into the unconscious mind, revealing truths that logic alone cannot grasp. By paying attention to these symbols and dreams, we can gain a richer understanding of ourselves and the paradoxical nature of reality. Ultimately, the psychology behind our inclination towards duality points to a fundamental human need for order and control in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. However, as Jung emphasized, true wholeness comes from embracing complexity, accepting contradictions, and recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. This shift in perspective allows us to move beyond simplistic binaries and engage with the world in its full richness and ambiguity. It fosters empathy, understanding, and a deeper appreciation for the paradoxical nature of human existence. Now, this shift in perspective, however, doesn't merely happen at the individual level. It ripples through our entire cultural fabric, challenging the very foundations upon which we build our understanding of the world. Imagine, for a moment, the ancient philosophers grappling with these concepts. Seneca, a Roman Stoic, would likely emphasize the need for resilience in the face of paradox. He believed that true wisdom lies in accepting the inherent uncertainty of life, recognizing that events often defy easy categorization into good and bad, right and wrong. He might urge us to cultivate a sense of inner tranquility by focusing on what is within our control: our thoughts, our actions, our responses, rather than getting caught up in the endless struggle against the unpredictable nature of reality. Nietzsche, centuries later, would likely take a more radical approach, tearing down the very notion of absolute truth and embracing the chaotic potential of existence. He might argue that the pursuit of duality is a symptom of a slave morality, a fear-driven attempt to impose order on a world that inherently resists categorization. Instead, he'd call for us to embrace our will to power, to actively create meaning in a meaningless universe, and to celebrate the ambiguity and contradictions that make life so profoundly human. This leads us to a crucial question. How do we translate these philosophical insights into tangible action? How do we navigate the complexities of the modern world, where binary thinking still dominates discourse and rigid ideologies hold sway? The answer, perhaps, lies in cultivating a deeper sense of curiosity, a willingness to engage with ideas that challenge our preconceived notions, and a commitment to open-minded dialogue. We must learn to appreciate the beauty of paradox, to find meaning in contradictions, and to recognize the inherent interconnectedness of all things. This shift in perspective requires us to move beyond the comfort zone of binary thinking and embrace the full spectrum of human experience: the light and the shadow, the joy and the sorrow, the order and the chaos. By doing so, we can begin to create a more nuanced, compassionate, and ultimately more authentic understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The path forward is not about abandoning our need for clarity and order, but rather about refining our approach. It's about recognizing that true understanding often lies in the space between opposites, where complexities reside, and where the greatest potential for growth and transformation exists. It's a journey of constant exploration, questioning, and reevaluation, a journey that requires courage, humility, and an unwavering commitment to seeking truth beyond the confines of simplistic binaries. So, how do we embark on this journey of embracing paradox? How do we move beyond the confines of duality and cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world? Building on this recognition of complexity, let's explore some actionable steps we can take to begin integrating paradoxical thinking into our daily lives. Firstly, cultivate mindful awareness. Pay attention to the automatic thought patterns that often lead you down binary roads. Notice when you find yourself labeling things as good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure. Acknowledge these tendencies without judgment, and gently redirect your thoughts towards a more nuanced perspective. Ask yourself, are there other perspectives I haven't considered? Is there complexity inherent in this situation that might be obscuring the full truth? This practice of mindful observation extends beyond our internal dialogue. Cultivate a keen awareness of the world around you, noticing the interconnectedness of seemingly disparate elements. Observe how light and shadow dance together, how stillness precedes movement, how chaos can often birth order. These everyday phenomena offer glimpses into the inherent paradox that underlies reality. However, simply observing isn't enough. We must actively engage with these paradoxes. This means being open to challenging our own assumptions and beliefs. Allow yourself to entertain ideas that initially seem contradictory or unsettling. Question your ingrained biases and be willing to consider alternative viewpoints, even if they challenge your comfort zone. Remember, The goal isn't to arrive at a single, definitive answer, but to expand your understanding through exploration and questioning. This leads us to the importance of embracing ambiguity. In a world obsessed with clarity and certainty, ambiguity can feel unsettling, even threatening. Yet, it is within this space of uncertainty that true growth occurs. Cultivate an attitude of intellectual humility. Recognize that there are limitations to your knowledge and understanding. Be comfortable saying, "I don't know," and be open to learning from others who hold different perspectives. Furthermore, cultivate a sense of curiosity. Approach life with a childlike wonder, asking questions without fear of judgment or ridicule. Explore diverse fields of study. Engage in conversations with people from different walks of life, and seek out experiences that challenge your preconceived notions. This continuous exploration will keep your mind sharp and open to the complexities of the world. Finally, remember that embracing paradox is an ongoing journey, not a destination. It requires constant reflection, self-awareness, and a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones. Be patient with yourself, celebrate small victories along the way, and never stop questioning. This continuous exploration will lead you towards a richer, more fulfilling understanding of life, one that acknowledges the inherent beauty and complexity of existence in all its paradoxical glory. Now, to never stop questioning, this relentless pursuit of understanding, this yearning to decipher the intricate tapestry of existence, is what sets us apart. It's the driving force that propels us forward, urging us to delve deeper into the unknown, to embrace the ambiguity, and to celebrate the glorious paradox that defines our reality. Building on this foundation of inquiry, we arrive at a profound realization. The pursuit of truth isn't about finding definitive answers, but rather about cultivating an ever-evolving perspective. Each question we ask, each experience we encounter, each conversation we engage in, subtly shifts our understanding, revealing new facets of the multifaceted world around us. However, this journey isn't always smooth sailing. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when the weight of uncertainty threatens to overwhelm us. It's during these times that we must remember the inherent beauty of paradox. We mustn't shy away from the seemingly contradictory, for it is often within these tensions that true wisdom resides. This leads us to a crucial point. Embracing paradox isn't just an intellectual exercise. It's a transformative experience that permeates every aspect of our being. It challenges us to let go of rigid beliefs, to step outside of our comfort zones, and to embrace the fluidity and dynamism inherent in life itself. Imagine a world where we no longer seek absolute truths, but instead celebrate the spectrum of perspectives, acknowledging the validity of diverse viewpoints even when they seem contradictory. Picture a society where individuals are encouraged to explore the multifaceted nature of their own identities, embracing both their strengths and vulnerabilities without fear of judgment. This is the world that awaits us when we fully embrace paradox, a world where creativity flourishes, innovation thrives, and empathy reigns supreme. It's a world where the boundaries between disciplines dissolve, allowing for the emergence of new ideas and solutions. But how do we cultivate this mindset of paradoxical thinking? How do we bridge the gap between theory and practice? The answer lies within each one of us. It starts with cultivating a sense of wonder and curiosity about the world around us. It's about asking questions without fear, seeking out diverse perspectives, and engaging in meaningful dialogue even when opinions differ. It's also about developing a deep sense of self-awareness, acknowledging our own biases and limitations while remaining open to learning and evolving. This requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones. However, the journey doesn't end there. Embracing paradox is not simply an individual pursuit. It's a collective endeavor that requires us to build bridges of understanding across divides, to foster empathy and compassion, and to create a world where diverse perspectives are celebrated. This calls for leaders who inspire us to think beyond dualities, who challenge conventional wisdom, and who empower individuals to embrace their full potential. It demands educators who cultivate critical thinking skills, encourage creativity, and nurture a love of learning. And it requires each one of us to contribute our unique talents and perspectives to the ongoing dialogue. The path ahead may not always be clear, but let us remember that the journey itself is the destination. Let us embrace the paradoxical nature of reality with open hearts and minds, for it is within this realm of ambiguity and complexity that we discover the true richness and beauty of existence. This is our call to greatness, a call to transcend limitations, to bridge divides, and to create a world where paradox is not merely accepted, but celebrated as the very essence of what makes us human. Let us embark on this journey together, hand in hand, hearts ablaze with the spirit of inquiry and the unwavering belief that even within contradiction lies profound beauty and boundless possibility.